Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 41 of Heard You Like Me, and this one is titled Middleman Yin. The first room you stopped at was Jirou's to drop her off, and then you and Momo said goodbye to Mina and headed off down the hall to your shared room, and Mina went to hers. Hey, you said as soon as you and Momo were alone in your room. Let's chat. You good? I just want to probably check in with you about that talk earlier. She said nervously, sitting down on the bed with hands in lap. I'm happy that this means I get to spend time with you and have your affection be directed towards me, but there is one thing that I'm a little hesitant about. What is it? You asked as you walked over and sat down beside her. Well, I know that I have feelings towards you, but I'm just not sure if I have feelings towards Jirou in that way, she said nervously, giving you a worried look. I don't want to hurt her feelings, but I'm more in this because of you. I get that, and it's a big ask for me to suddenly expect you to be affectionate towards Jirou, you said. Oh, I do think very fondly of her, but I just don't think I could kiss her, she said, her cheeks dusting pink as she said it. And could you kiss me? You asked, giving her a smirk as you glanced at her lips. Oh, definitely, she said in her mind, her bottom lip pulling cutely in between her teeth as she tried to control her nerves. Well, you said as you leaned in a little. I'm tired. My moral compass and reasoning have had an affair and eloped to Hawaii, so it's just me in my raw form here and now. Momo looked at you, then at your lips, then back to you, and you gently reached a hand to cup her chin, your thumb holding her just a little more firmly than what you would normally do. Do you mind if I give you that kiss? You asked in a low voice, your heart beating strongly in your chest as you held your breath for her reply. She didn't speak out loud, just in her mind, but her yes was so loud it could have been something said out loud, and you leaned in and pressed your lips to hers. Probably not the best to compare her and Jirou's kisses, since they were two completely different people, but her lips were a little fuller than Jirou's, and her lip gloss tasted like strawberries and rosewater, which jolted a memory forth from the depths of your mind. Wait, is this the same lip gloss that you used to have when we were younger? You suddenly asked when you pulled back. Oh, yes, she replied. You're very observant, Yin, she added with surprise. How did you know? How could I forget? You asked with a chuckle. You used to sit next to me in summer cram school by the window, and whenever you put it on, the breeze would waft the scent over to me, so I'm very well versed in that smell, and I'm stoked that I actually get to taste it now, you added, giving her another 2 quick kisses and then licking your lips. Man, it tastes so good. Oh, how embarrassing, Momo gasped, her poor flustered self getting even more flustered when she saw you licking your lips that had her gloss on it. You laughed and let her chin go. Thank you, those kisses were out of this world, you said with a smile. I'm so happy we can be like this, Momo said after a second, reaching her arms out to hug you as she fell into your side and you hugged her back. I thought I had missed out. So did I, you replied, but I guess this is a new chapter of our life, right? Now we just got to iron out the kinks and get into a rhythm and it should be okay. I promise to have open communication from now on. I know the start of this relationship was a little rocky, but we got there in the end, you added. Yes, I too want to make sure that Jirou feels included and supported. I know she already feels that way with you, but I was meaning about me. I don't want her to feel like I don't want her there, Momo said. Well, you're both considerate, so I have no doubts this will be fine, you replied. But speaking of, I did mention to Jirou that I'd come by her room later and check in on her too. I think I'll end up being the middleman here. Yes, misgendering intended, but I'm okay with that. I feel like I'm the one who's been burdened with a perfect life between 2 babes, you added dramatically, placing the back of one hand on your forehead and flopping backwards onto the bed. Momo giggled. You're definitely born for this role, she said with a smile. Okay, go and make sure she's okay. And don't stay out too late. You're so tired. I know that firsthand. Yes, baby, you said as you sat up and kissed her on the lips again. I'll be back before Betty buys. Okay, she replied sweetly, watching as you got off the bed and walked to the door. I'll be back, you replied with a wink, before scooting out the door and closing it behind you. As you headed off down the hall, you heard Momo's inner thoughts from the room and you smiled. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, this is really wonderful, she thought, and you grinned as you pushed your hands into your pockets and kept moving. Now to check on my other girlfriend and we should be good, you thought as you got to her door and stopped to knock. I know it's you, Jirou said cheekily from the other side of the door. You can feel my aura before you see me, you joked as you cracked the door open and then stepped in. Or was it that kiss you've been waiting for that you felt coming through the door? Jirou smiled shyly at you as you closed the door behind you. Now or later, baby? You asked with a smirk. Now, she said, standing up from her desk chair and walking over to you. You stepped up to her and reached around her to give her a big hug as she reached her head up to yours and you locked lips, taking a deep inhale as you did so. Oh, I miss this, you said once you'd pulled back from the kiss. Me too, she replied, giving you a doe-eyed look. On to business, you said as you let her go, and then took her hand and stepped over to the bed and then sat down, encouraging her to straddle your legs and sit in your lap facing you so that you could put your hands around her little waist. Okay, now that everyone's comfortable and seated, you joked, how are you feeling? This is a big move for you, but for me too. I should include myself there because I've never done anything like this before. I think I'm okay, she said, draping her arms softly across the top of your shoulders. She sighed and looked away a little, so you lifted one hand and gently moved it to her cheek and then turned her head back towards you slightly so that she'd look you in the eye. Be honest, it's a safe space here, you said kindly in a gentle voice. You don't need to withhold anything. She nodded and did her best to maintain eye contact with you. I'll admit, it did kind of take me by surprise when I felt your feelings towards Momo when I was in your body, but I had time to think about it afterwards, and yeah, I can't really expect you to not like her anymore, she said. Look, I'm sorry, you said honestly. The body does what the body does, and sometimes you fall for someone and you just can't switch it off. Yeah, I know. And I was thinking it was hypocritical of me to be feeling upset and jealous because I still have some residual feelings for Momo too. She added, that's why I concluded that we do this. You nodded. Yeah, I think it's for the best, you said. It'd be hard on you, me and her if only you and I were dating because we're all in such close proximity, so yeah, tough. She nodded in agreement. But you tell me if you feel like things are too one-sided, okay? You said. I said the same thing to Momo too because she's feeling the same way. She's worried that one or more might feel left out. Okay, I'll tell you, Jirou promised. It'll be on me to make sure you both feel loved and appreciated and cared for like you should, you said proudly. Screw guys, who needs them? I can be a better boyfriend times 10 to both of you. Yes, a slay. Stay tuned for chapter 42 coming tomorrow. See you then.